This Equipment World video is brought to you by Chevron Delo 600 ADF Ultra Low Ash Diesel Engine Oil. It's time to kick some ash. Hi everyone, welcome back to Equipment World. You're watching The Dirt. I'm your host Brian, and today we're going to talk about project management software. But it's not just project management software. Trimble Construction One is a whole suite of tools that your business can utilize to account for anything from hours on the machines, to man hours, to materials, to the accounting. It's all integrated in one place. Viewpoint was recently fully integrated, I should say. They were acquired by Trimble a while back, but they are now fully integrated with Trimble. And so here to talk to us today is Matt Harris from Trimble, or Viewpoint, however you want to look at it, to talk to us about their Construction One software. But before we get into that, I want to take a second to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Chevron Lubricants. Protecting your diesel engine and its exhaust aftertreatment system has traditionally been seen as an either-or proposition when it comes to choosing the engine oil that's going to protect your system. And that's exactly why Chevron spent more than a decade of R&D work developing a no-compromise formulation. Now, I don't have to tell you why a clogged DPF is bad news, but here's the real kick in the pants. 90% of that ash clogging up your DPF and then upping your fuel and maintenance costs, it comes from your engine oil. You might be thinking, why don't they make an engine oil with less ash in it then? You'll be happy to learn that Chevron agrees with you. They've developed a new ultra-low ash diesel engine oil that is specifically designed to combat DPF ash clogging. Delo 600 ADF with OmniMax technology cuts sulfate ash by 60%, radically reducing the rate of DPF clogging and extending the DPF service life by 2.5 times. Before you had to choose between protecting your engine or your aftertreatment system. Now you don't. Delo 600 ADF with OmniMax technology. It's time to kick some ash. Well, Matt, thank you for being on The Dirt today. I really appreciate you taking your time to talk about your software with us today.
I appreciate the opportunity, Brian, and thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. So my first question is, so that we can kind of get all of the contractors on the same page, in a very high level overview, could you explain to us what Trimble Construction One really is as a software application?
So what Trimble Construction One is, it's actually a series, it's a suite of software applications that enable construction management at a contractor. What Trimble Construction One does for us is it creates what we call connected construction at Trimble. And connected construction is our vision to connect the various phases of a contractor's business. And we describe connecting planning or pre-construction with the doing, which is the actual work done on projects and on job sites, and then with the managing of the work being done, the financials, the managing of resources and people. And so connected construction connects planning, doing, and managing, and Trimble Construction One is a software suite that lets us achieve that. So with a little bit more detail, in planning, for example, we provide very deep and rich solutions that enable contractors to connect pricing with their estimates, and then also connect those estimates directly with their projects and their budget models to make that connection and those handoffs really seamless. We also, in the doing side of things, create rich project management applications that enable and give complete transparency on projects and projects from a communications perspective and collaboration perspective, but also from a cost and resource consumption perspective. And we provide tools in Trimble Construction One that give the field, the site managers, the superintendents, the project managers, the ability to manage and track their resources, people, equipment, other materials that are actually happening on the job site. And then finally, with the managing component of Trimble Construction One, this information that is actually all the activity that's happening on the job site, that's happening in the projects, is then integrated and connected back into the back office to help the CFOs, the project managers, and the contractor executives get a real-time view of what's happening in their projects from a financial outcome perspective. Is there progress? How is their progress coming along so that they're billing appropriately? And then how are they consuming resources, labor, equipment, materials, so they understand the impact of those resources and the costs on their projects and how that accumulates. At the end of the day, what we're doing is providing the right information at the right time for the right people, so contractors can run a better business for themselves.
So I will say, when I was getting my kind of high level overview of the software, one of the things that really stood out to me and was really amazing to me is just how much data you guys are able to collect. And one thing you touched on that's really key in my mind is the collaborative effort, that it's not in a handful of people that they are responsible for inputting all of this information. It's the group effort, all aggregating the information. And then it's really easy to access once you kind of understand how to navigate the software.
Yeah, and that's, I think, a real benefit of the suite that we provide. It's a connected network of software that is really connecting the various phases of a contractor's business. And to your point, we do accumulate this data, and then we can reflect the data back to the users when they need it most. For example, when an estimate is created and finalized, that then becomes the project baseline budget. And as we accumulate costs or resources are consumed towards a project, we then reflect that resources and the costs associated with them directly against that budget. So in real time, a project manager, a project accountant, an executive, a CFO, or a CEO of a business can really understand the progress that they're making on any job relative to their original budget and relative to actual things that are happening in the job site on the project. And so it's this integration and accumulation of data and the reflection back that we can provide in really simple mechanisms on mobile applications, in browser-based applications, in really simple tools that really anybody can use that we're really aiming to provide. We want to provide more information to people in the industry, regardless of where they are, so they can see what's happening, and they can see what's happening within the context of the entirety of the project. How people are being used in the project, and how crews are deployed, how progress is made, and how that progress then is reflected in the billing that they have for the project. And so we bring that all together and really make it a seamless application.
So in your mind, and you've probably touched on a handful of them in your last answer, but in your mind, what are some of the advantages that Trimble brings to the table over other project management software that's out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, we're more than project management. And so what Trimble can bring to the table is not just a breadth of an application suite that will cover pre-construction and project and site management and then the financial and human capital management. We can cover the breadth of that, but we also do this with class-leading solutions in each of those three domains. And so our pre-construction applications are class-leading in terms of their application to various estimating of the trades of general construction and also of civil construction. And so these are class-leading applications in and of themselves. The project management suite that we have and the field productivity tools that we have are also best-in-class applications that give you rich functionality for collaboration on the project, for management of documents and drawings, but also give you complete financial control over your project in terms of your cost accumulation and understanding of your job costing relative to your budget. And then on the management side, our suite of financial and human capital management solutions are construction ERPs, if you will. These are best-in-class products that give you full back-office automation and then also full visibility into the status of projects from a financial and resource perspective. And these are really, they are the systems of record that actually contractors use to manage not only their projects but their businesses. And so what Trimble does is brings this richness of all three of these areas together. We integrate it in from a data and workflow perspective. We integrate it from an IT administration perspective, and we make it easy for a contractor to consume and acquire this. And the neat thing is that we give contractors the choice to, if they want, have all of it, or if they want to start in one particular area, they can do that too.
So let me ask you this, because what we're talking about, just to specify and clarify even more, is this is not a QuickBooks add-on. This is a full I would almost say a top to bottom integration piece of software. And so as a contractor, when do I really need to start considering stepping into a piece of software? When do I finally reach that point to where it's like, okay, QuickBooks and everything isn't working, we need to step into something like this?
So when a contractor is at a point where they're saying to themselves, hey, we need to create an IT strategy, a technology strategy that's going to let us scale demonstrably into the future, that's when they should start to consider Trimble Construction One. And by the way, if they're happy with QuickBooks and they want to start with Trimble Construction One in their pre-construction planning or their project operations or their project management, they can do that. And they can start in various areas and then either one of those areas and then grow into other elements of Trimble Construction One. So it's we're not requiring or asking customers to buy all in one, all at once. For many contractors, that might be too much. But what we're giving them is the ability to start and grow. And when they grow, it's easy to acquire. The products that we have are pre-integrated from a data, workflow, and IT administration perspective, and then they can grow into that connected construction vision that we have.
So you've almost got a modular type platform to where I, as a contractor, don't have to dive in head first and just be 100% committed. I can easily step in, and as more things become available to onboard, I can step into that.
You got it. You got it. That's exactly right. And then the other neat thing is that when they make the decision to use Trimble or Trimble Construction One for one part of their business, they don't have to worry about choosing between the various Trimble products that may serve that part of their business. We actually bundle it all to them and give them the entire suite that they may need for pre-construction planning, for example, and estimating, or for their back office. And they have it in a future-proof mode. So then once they start to use Trimble Construction One for back office management, for example, everything thereafter that we develop, our customers are going to get for that application suite and for that use. They're in the club, so to speak, right? And so once they're in the club, we make that club better and better and better as we release software continuously every month and every quarter and every year. And so it's getting better and better and better over time. So our goal is, we want people to join us in Trimble Construction One. They get access to everything that we may offer for that particular user in the contractor, be it an estimator or a project manager or a project accountant, for example. And then they can use it and they can grow with our solution suite over time as well. It's future-proof.
Wow, that's an awesome component of that, because I know a lot of these companies get into a piece of software and it's kind of, okay, you're committed to the 2021 release forever. And if you want to upgrade, it's going to cost you another who knows how many thousands of dollars. So it's awesome that you guys offer the ability to just continue to grow as the software grows. So I know you're short on time today, so I do have a final question. I mean, Trimble, you guys are known as innovators in the industry, and you guys really push technology. What do you think the future of technology and construction can be, and what are you guys working on that kind of helps drive that forward?
Yeah, I love that question. And I think there's so much opportunity in construction and construction technology in general. But the thing that gets us particularly excited, the thing that gets me particularly excited is the opportunity for data in the industry. And we spoke about that several times already. There's a fantastic opportunity with data in almost the simplest form, which is, and what we hear from our customers and users all the time is that they want access to really more information when they need it, for their people. So we want to, make it easier for people to access information and data. And that's really only the first step. And that's what we're doing today, right? With Trimble Construction One is providing easier access to data and more tools and more capabilities to do that. And I'd say that's kind of table stakes, because the real possibility with data is then in all the data science and some artificial intelligence techniques that we're working on now is really creating what we call predictive models. It's predictive analytics is the technical term. term. And so what we can do is we can use the data from an individual contractor. We can use the data from all aggregated contractors overall, the industry, and we can start to build some models that tell us some important things about the future. For example, we built a pretty cool model that lets a contractor predict how risky a job will be, a project will be, while they're bidding the job, right? And so we can tell just by the basic elements of their bid, how much the type of job they have, where it is, how much labor and equipment they plan to consume, how much material they plan to consume. We can actually tell how risky that job will be relative to other jobs that contractor has done and relative to other jobs in the industry. And what that does is it gives a owner of a construction industry it lets them a portfolio manage a bit. So nobody wants to do all high-risk jobs in general, right? That generally, can end up in some difficult situations. So it's good to have a portfolio of high-risk jobs, maybe for some upside that you have to manage closely with some lower-risk jobs. And so we're giving contractors the ability to manage risk. We're also creating a model now that is enabling the contractor to predict profit fade. And so profit fade is often something that, a project manager will learn about, once they accumulate costs and they see, geez, my costs are way above what I was predicting right now. And my billings are behind. And so what we're trying to do is give a project manager the ability to predict that event happening in the future by a month, not just see it happening when it happened last month. And so we're creating some predictive models that will will tell us, based upon the growth of costs and the progress of the job, what we think profit fade could look like a month from now, 2 months from now, or 3 months from now, if there's a likelihood of that happening. And so that really what we're doing there is giving the project manager the tools to actually act now to prevent a bad event from happening in the future. So and that's the exciting thing about some of the data and the data science that we're applying right now. It's not just, telling us what happened yesterday, even doing that is good, but we're going to actually start to inform us what's going to happen tomorrow. And I think that's the power and some of the exciting things that we're working on.
That's incredible. And just to clarify, once you're in the club, you're getting all of these updates. You're getting all of the improvements to the prediction or the predicting power of the software. That's all included in your package.
It's in the club. Yeah, it's in the club. And so what we do is create a future-proof model. And those customers of ours who are using our analytics capabilities and our BI capabilities, as we update them with new predictive models, it's in that model. And so we really are creating a future-proof environment for the contractors, users, and the types of applications that they have.
Wow. And just so that everyone can know, where can the audience go if they want to learn more about this software?
Well, there's Trimble.com, of course. And then I'm with the Trimble Viewpoint division. And so there's Viewpoint.com. And then in the Viewpoint.com, there's a full explanation of Trimble Construction One, the various elements of it, and all the benefits that we can provide as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much again for the time, Matt. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. I've enjoyed the discussion.
Well, thank you again to Matt for his time and for Trimble allowing us the opportunity to interview them regarding their Construction One software. I would highly encourage you guys, if you are in that frame where you're looking for a piece of software that can really take over a lot of the logistics in your business, I would highly recommend you take a look at this software. I was able to get about an hour worth of training on the software over this past week, and I just scratched the surface at the capabilities of the software. It is incredible the abilities that the software has to not only aggregate the information on all of your projects, but then turn around and give you that information back in a very clear, concise way that's easy to interpret and understand. So without further ado, I'm signing off on this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode of The Dirt.